Welcome to Bawashir Electric once more. So we are going to do some little wiring here of some new type of motor called a 2-speed motor. So among the motors that we have a motor called a 2-speed motor. This motor runs in two different speeds. It has a high speed and a low speed. Now it has the winding as you see here. It has U1, V1 and W1. When connected in delta format, the way they are, we have line 1, line 2 and line 3. It gives us a low speed. Then if we want a high speed, these windings are connected in this format. I see. So we now have here U2, the ones which were U1, V1 and W1, they are short circuited. Then we connect in the middle of each coil, that is U2, W2 and V2. That means we have something like a two-star or a double star connection. So when you have this double star connection, there the motor can give us a high speed. So how do we do this? We are going to have 3 contactors. One is the one for normal and a delta connection. Then we shall have another one to act like a star connection. Then that is the one shorting the U1, V1 and W1. And now when you look at the motor itself, it has 6 windings, I mean 6 pins, 6 outlets. Let me zoom in. The way you can see it here, it has U1, V1, W1, U2, V2, W2 already arranged in the winding as we have seen the coils. So when you power U1, V1 and W1, you are going to have a low speed. When you power U2, V2, W2, you are going to have a high speed. But now powering U1 and V1, W1, the motor just runs. But here to power U2, V2 and W2, it has to have power. Then you short U1, V1 and W1 as we saw here. You have to short here U1, V1 and W1. Then you give power to V2, W2 and U2. That will give you a high speed. I'm trying to move slowly so that you can understand, because this motor is not so much common with we technicians. So now we are going to dive into our connection. Now there we go. So we are just going to have a 3 power supply as normal. I'm going to have live neutral with the earth like that. Then we are going to have a power circuit breaker like that. Then now we are going to have our contactors. We are going to have the first contactor. We are going to have the second. This one I've used the 4-pole, no need, just need some 3-pole. And a third. So those are the 3 components we are going to use for the power line. Let me arrange them. That is it. Now the other thing I've forgotten, these sides, both of them, they are supposed to have overloads. They are supposed to have overloads because each side is going to work independently by itself. Actually, this type of motor, it is like 2 motors combined together. One motor running with a low speed and one motor running with a high speed. So now when we do some simple wiring here, now this one is for the low speed, and this motor can also run. For this time we are going to do only one direction, but can run various directions. So line 1 is going to go to U1, then line 2 is going to go to V1, and line 3 is going to go to W1. I always intend to ignore the earthing, but let me give it earthing this time. So we have there the earthing. Let me zoom and see. Now this is what I'm meaning. You see, line 1 will come to U1, line 2 will come to V1, line 3 will come to W1. If you interchange, of course, that will be change of direction. So here also we shall have, when we have our cables, this shall be, I'm using the earth, this shall be our line 1, and this shall be our line 2 to V2, and this shall be our line 3, like that. So this side it will be for low speed, and this side it will be for high speed. Then I'm going to complete between here. Now here we are just going to get from the same power supply. So this one is our line 3. This one is our line 3. Is it? No, it is line 1. Okay. So this one is our line 1, and this one is our line 2, and this one is our line 3, like that. So now what about this contactor here? This one, just we are going to have some shorting. That one is this shorting here when we come into high speed. And now how are we going to do it? We are just going to come down here and short these phases. You're going to short these ones. Those are the pins, the ones which are connected to U1, V1, W1, the ones that are short. The way you see V1, U1, W1, we short them into a star. Then we give power to U2, V2, W2. That is for high speed. Then for low speed, we keep this contactor this way open, with this one also open. Then we close this one. That means we shall only be powering the U1, V1 and the W1. So in simple terms, that is the power circuit. Now when we name these devices, this one we can call it thermal fuse or thermal overload. Formerly they are F, just call it F1. This one I will give it F2. Then this one we shall have high, it is KM, we shall call it KM, KH to me, I mean KL to mean contactor for low speed. Then this one we shall call it, that one shall remain KM. Then this one we shall call it KH for contactor of high speed. Are we there? Then this one shall just be MCCB, and we are done with our power circuit. So now we need to come up with the control circuit. Now the control circuit, it depends on the applications where the motor is being used. When we use these motors like in conveyors, there are times where a motor changes step by itself or changes step by a PLC. That is now when it comes to automation. But I'm going to design just a simple way when a motor is actually the user yourself, you press a push button for high speed or press a push button for low speed. you see, and we are going to interlock them so that you cannot start high speed when it is in low speed, though it is possible, more so when it is in automation. The motor can switch from low speed to high speed immediately when driving something. Now these motors are used in cranes, are used in fans, they are used in water pumps, they are used to drive conveyors. So it depends the type of application you are using, but here we are just going to see some little basic. If need be for automation also, in future I shall process such videos and we see how to go about with it. Now, with that being the teacher of the day speaking too much, I'm going to have here my control breaker of a tuple. Then we are going to have an emergency button around here. Before we go to emergency, we are going to have a thermal overload. And remember, thermal overloads we have to, so you have to put all of them, but for basic, allow me just to use one and call it the F1. But you have to use all of them, or let's include, since there is time. So now this is F2, that is thermal overload 2. This one and this one. Then now we shall have, let's just have our stop push button. Then we are going to have a start. Now this one is just going to act the way you can switch a reverse and forward motor. Is the way we are going to design, nothing big. So from here we are going to have a start, and we are going to have 2 start push buttons like that. And these 2 start push buttons, one will be starting a low speed contactor. What is not happening? I need here some coil of a low speed. Then this one is going to start a high speed, as well as, remember, a high speed also has to short the U1, V1 and W1. So it's going to start the high speed contactor with the shorting contactor. And now we are just going to do here some simple wiring. We are going to have here our live, like that. Now remember, I told you we are going to do some interlocking, so I'm going to have here normally closed. Now if this one is KL, that is low speed, this one is KH, that is high speed, and this one is KM, the one which does the shorting. So now this one will be a contact for coil for KH to come and power KL. Then we are going to have another one here for KL to power KH. Now when we are doing here real wiring, remember these contacts we have two, so it can be the normally closed of the two. That means if any of them goes off, the circuit has to be secured and goes off. So we shall also have here a normally closed of KM. So now we are going to have normally closed of KH and KM, these two, powering on this one. Then only this one through this one to power on these two. And that is how we are going to draw our cable through here, then to the contactor. Then this one also we are going to have it going to have our cable like this, yeah. Then let's have this mister here. We are going to be powered both of them at once. Okay, now these contactors, of course, they will also have to self-hold themselves, also these main ones. We have another one here, so this one is KL, then this one is KH, then we are going to have this cable like this. As simple as that. So now we are going to have our neutral cabling. From here, the breaker, just going to take it down. Then I'm going to power my components one by one. Are we there? So that is the simplicity of the control diagram, only that this breaker we have here, I'm going to have it is neutral from around here. Because it has to get power from the main control. Then also I'm going to have it is live from around here. So always when you're doing such connections, that's the logic you should use. Make sure that the main source is one, or the main control breaker is one. Oh, I've got from up the breaker. Okay, no problem. For simulation you can use that one. So now we are going to check our circuit, but we have forgotten to name some of these components here. Remember, this one is stop, just named it STP. Then this switch, we are going to name it high, I mean low. Then this switch is for high. Now this one, the good thing, our motor indicates between high and low. We are going to verify. So now I want you to be keen here. When we do a simulation, I just click here play, then I will complete the main breaker, I complete here the control breaker. So now when I click here low, allow me zoom a bit. So that is it. When I now press here the low button, are you seeing the motor? This one Roman numeral here, this Roman numeral indicates low speed, and it is only this contactor pathing, supplying power to U1, V1 and W1, which is this one KL. All these ones are off. If this one makes a mistake of powering on, it is going to cut off the power coming to motor. Are you seeing? It is here. This Roman numeral of the motor indicates low speed. Now when I stop, or my stop push button is up, when I press stop, then I click here high. Let me move down. You see it is now high. These Roman numerals, they are now 2. The other time it was 1, they are now 2. So these two contactors are on. Are you seeing? This one has already shorted U1, V1 and W1, and this one is now giving power to U2, V2 and W2. Yeah, that is what I'm meaning. The way it is just here. When it is in a low speed, this is delta, we have only U1, V1, W1. When it is in high speed, we have these two shorted, these three here shorted. This is what is being explained here. Stop, low speed, you see the Roman numeral is 1, but in the same direction. Stop, high speed, Roman numeral 2. That means it is in the second speed, and that is high speed. So that is how we deal with the low and high speed motors. If there is any concern, please. I think in the next tutorial we are going to see how to make a reverse and forward of this kind of motor, then also with the real wiring, with the real components. Please keep the support, keep the spirit. You can share such circuits and to your friends. Also, you can comment thanks to someone who commented who wanted this circuit, and please, I think it is here. We can go, and if you have any other concern, please, you can still post. Thank you for watching.